Have you ever stopped to think about the incredible journey the device you re-watching this on has taken, from a simple tool for counting to the gateway to a global network? The history of the computer is a story of human ingenuity filled with brilliant minds, massive machines, and game-changing innovations. Let's rewind the clock and explore this fascinating evolution. Our story begins over 4,000 years ago in Mesopotamia with the abacus. It might not look like a computer, but it was the world's first known computing tool designed for one simple purpose: arithmetic. For centuries, this was the peak of calculation technology. Fast forward to the 19th century, where we meet a true visionary, Charles Babbage, often called the father of the computer. He designed a revolutionary machine called the analytical engine. Imagine a mechanical beast powered by steam, capable of being programmed with punch cards. It was the first design for a general-purpose computer, introducing the very concept of programmability. While he never fully built it, his ideas were light years ahead of their time. Working alongside Babbage was the remarkable Ada Lovelace. She saw the true potential of the analytical engine beyond mere calculation. She wrote what is now recognized as the world's first computer program, imagining that the machine could one day create music and art. She wasn't just a collaborator, she was the first computer programmer, a true prophet of the digital age. The real leap into the electronic era happened in the 1940s. Driven by the needs of World War II, machines like the Colossus in Britain and the ENIAC in the United States were born. ENIAC, short for Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, was a monster. It weighed over 30 tons, filled an entire room, and used thousands of unreliable vacuum tubes that frequently burned out. It was a behemoth designed for complex military calculations, but it proved that large-scale electronic computing was possible. These early computers were power-hungry giants, accessible only to a select few scientists and engineers. A crucial development came from John von Neumann, who proposed the stored program architecture. This meant that both the data and the instructions to manipulate it could be stored in the computer's memory. This concept is the foundation of every computer, smartphone, and tablet we use today. It made computers far more flexible and powerful. Around the same time, another pioneer, Grace Hopper, made a quirky but important discovery. While working on the Mark II computer, she found a moth trapped in a relay, causing a malfunction. She taped it into her logbook and coined the term debugging for fixing a computer problem. The next major breakthrough was the invention of the transistor in 1947 at Bell Labs. Transistors were tiny, reliable, and used far less power than vacuum tubes. This invention was the key to miniaturization. Computers started to shrink from the size of a room to the size of a large cabinet. They became faster, cheaper, and more reliable, paving the way for computers to enter the world of business. IBM became a major player during this era, launching its first commercial computer and establishing a standard for corporate computing. But the revolution didn't stop there. In the late 1950s, the integrated circuit was invented, putting multiple transistors onto a single silicon chip. This was followed by the microprocessor in 1971, which placed the entire central processing unit, the brain of the computer, onto one tiny chip. This was the moment personal computing became possible. Suddenly, the idea of having a computer in your own home wasn't science fiction anymore. The late 1970s and early 1980s were the Wild West of personal computing. Iconic machines like the Apple II and the IBM PC hit the market, sparking a home computer boom. These machines brought computing out of the labs and into our living rooms, schools, and offices. But there was still a barrier. Using these early PCs required typing complex commands into a black screen. The real game changer for user-friendliness was the popularization of the Graphical User Interface, or GUI. Pioneered at Xerox PARC and famously adopted by Apple with the Macintosh, the GUI used icons, windows, and a mouse, making computers intuitive and accessible to everyone, not just programmers. Just as personal computers were becoming mainstream, another revolution was quietly brewing: the Internet. Originally a US military project called ARPANET, it evolved into a global network that connected computers all over the world. By the 1990s, the World Wide Web made the Internet a visual, user-friendly space. Suddenly, you could send an email to someone across the globe in seconds, access a virtual library of information, and connect with people in ways never before imagined. It transformed communication, business, and education, making the world feel smaller and knowledge more accessible than ever. This journey has brought us to where we are today. Computers have seamlessly integrated into every facet of our lives. They've revolutionized healthcare with digital patient records and advanced diagnostic tools. They've reshaped business with remote work and global collaboration, and they've changed how we learn, socialize, and entertain ourselves. But the evolution is far from over. We are now in the age of artificial intelligence and machine learning, where computers can learn, reason, and create in ways that mimic human intelligence. This is the latest frontier, powering everything from your phone's virtual assistant to complex scientific research. And on the horizon, we have the mind-bending potential of quantum computing, which promises to solve problems that are currently impossible for even the most powerful supercomputers. From the simple beads of an abacus to the complex neural networks of AI, the story of the computer is a testament to our relentless drive to innovate. It's a journey that has transformed our world in just a few generations, and it's a journey that is still unfolding. What will the next chapter hold? Only time will tell. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the history of computing. If you found this journey as fascinating as we did, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories about the technology that shapes our world.